Two crooked cops thought they could trap a black woman with fake charges. Little did they know, she had a surprise that would change everything. But to understand how it all unfolded, we need to start at the beginning. Leah Carter, a determined African-American woman in her mid-30s, stepped into Greenview Grocery under the warm afternoon sun. Her navy blue blazer and matching bag gave her a polished professional look. Despite her sharp appearance, Leah's warm smile and friendly nods to shoppers and staff made her approachable and unassuming. To everyone there, she looked like a busy professional squeezing in some errands. But Leah wasn't just any shopper. She worked as a secret investigator for the state, tasked with uncovering corruption in the town's police department. Just outside the store, officers Ray Wilson and Mike Turner waited in their patrol car. Known throughout the small, mostly white town of Crestfield, the pair had built a bad reputation. Wilson, a middle-aged officer with a smirk that never left his face, leaned against the car, scanning passersby. Turner, stocky and restless, tapped his baton on the ground, looking for trouble. Their pattern was clear. They used their authority to harass people of color, often pulling over drivers for routine checks. Rumors of misconduct had started to circulate, but they always seemed to dodge accountability. As Leah left the store with her shopping bags, she quickly noticed their sharp stares. Their intense gaze was a warning she'd seen before. Leah knew better than to show fear. She held her head high and walked to her car, her calm demeanor masking the tension she felt. "Miss," Wilson called out, stepping toward her with a fake grin. "Your license plate matches a vehicle reported in a recent robbery. Mind telling us why?" Leah paused, her expression calm but firm. "That's not possible. My car's been parked at home until now, and I can prove it." Turner stepped in, smirking. "We'll sort that out back at the station. Let's go." Before Leah could respond, they handcuffed her. Shoppers nearby whispered, some recording on their phones, but no one intervened. Leah stayed silent, knowing this was just the beginning. In the cold, gray interrogation room, Leah sat across from Wilson and Turner. The harsh lighting bounced off the metal table, casting long shadows. Wilson leaned in, his voice dripping with mock authority. "Let's try this again. Where were you last night?" Leah met his eyes steadily. "At home, as I've said." Turner started pacing, throwing out wild accusations about witnesses and fake evidence. "We've got people saying they saw you there. You might want to talk now before they throw you under the bus." Leah kept her composure, mentally noting every mistake they made. These tactics weren't new to her. She'd been trained to handle exactly this kind of intimidation. Then Wilson dropped a wallet on the table, claiming it had been found in her bag. "Look familiar?" he asked smugly. Leah's pulse quickened, but she remained calm. "I'll speak when my lawyer gets here," she said firmly. They ignored her request, doubling down on their lies. Hours dragged on, but Leah didn't waver. Her silence unnerved them, though they wouldn't admit it. Elsewhere in the station, a young officer named Mia Lopez stumbled across Leah's file. Something didn't sit right. The rushed processing and sloppy details stood out. Curious, Mia dug deeper. What she found, evidence of false arrests and patterns of targeting minorities, left her shaken. She knew staying silent wasn't an option anymore. The next day, Leah was brought to court in handcuffs, cameras flashing as reporters shouted questions. Headlines painted her as a suspect, but Leah's steady gaze hinted at a hidden strength. Inside, the courtroom was packed. Officer Wilson and Turner sat at the prosecution's table, confident their lies would hold up. But as the trial began, Leah stood and spoke. "Your Honor, I am Leah Carter, a lead investigator for the State Justice Department. I am here to expose corruption, not defend myself." The room fell silent. The judge nodded for her to continue, intrigued. Leah revealed her credentials and detailed her undercover investigation. She presented proof of racial profiling and fabricated charges, pointing directly to Wilson and Turner. The turning point came when Officer Mia Lopez took the stand. Hesitant, but inspired by Leah's courage, Mia testified about what she had discovered: falsified reports, unjustified arrests, and abuse of power. Her words backed Leah's claims, unraveling the officer's story completely. Wilson and Turner sat frozen, their arrogance replaced by panic. The judge, visibly angry, ordered their arrest. As they were led away in handcuffs, the irony wasn't lost on anyone. "This case isn't just about me," Leah addressed the courtroom. "It's about fixing a broken system. Justice starts with accountability." Leah's words resonated, inspiring the community. In the weeks that followed, the corrupt officers were charged, and their actions sparked a broader investigation into the department. Policies were overhauled, and new training programs focused on fairness and accountability. For Leah, this was more than a personal victory. It was a step toward change, proving that even one voice can make a difference. Here's an engaging 400-word conclusion to tie the story together. The fallout from the trial sent shockwaves through Crestfield. For years, the town had lived under the shadow of unchecked authority, but Leah Carter's bravery illuminated a path toward justice. The arrest of officers Wilson and Turner became a turning point, not just for the department, but for the entire community. As news spread, more victims of the officers' misconduct came forward, their stories adding weight to Leah's revelations. Behind bars, Wilson and Turner faced the consequences of their actions. Their smug confidence had vanished, replaced by the sobering reality of accountability. Charges of falsifying evidence, abuse of power, and misconduct piled up, ensuring their once prominent roles in the community would now be remembered as a cautionary tale of corruption's downfall. Meanwhile, Leah's actions sparked change beyond Crestfield. Her case inspired state-level investigations into law enforcement practices, uncovering similar patterns of abuse in other towns. The reforms that followed were comprehensive: new oversight committees, independent auditors for police activity, and mandatory training programs on implicit bias and ethical conduct. Leah became a key advisor in shaping these policies, her insights invaluable in designing a system that prioritized fairness and transparency. For Leah, the victory was deeply personal. She had endured humiliation, fear, and countless moments where standing up seemed impossible. But she knew this wasn't just about her. It was about ensuring no one else would have to endure what she had. The community's support, once fractured by fear, now rallied behind her. Local leaders, activists, and residents came together, fostering dialogue and rebuilding trust. Mia Lopez, the rookie officer who had taken a stand, found her own sense of purpose renewed. Inspired by Leah's courage, she became a vocal advocate for reform within law enforcement, working tirelessly to ensure the department's transformation wasn't just superficial, but deeply rooted in integrity. As for Leah, she remained a symbol of resistance and resilience. The journey had taken its toll, but it also reaffirmed her faith in the power of persistence. Standing at a town hall meeting months later, addressing a crowd of hopeful faces, Leah concluded with the words that had carried her through the darkest moments. Change doesn't come easily, but it comes. And when it does, it's worth every step of the fight. Her words echoed in their hearts, a reminder that courage could spark change and justice was always worth pursuing.